What's poppin', siblings? Today we talk about Miami defeating Ole Miss and how that felt like a national title game. And as LSU cooked their quarterback, sell franchise, talking sporty. Let's talk.
We talking sporty. We talking sporty.
College football playoff semifinal with the Miami Hurricanes and the Ole Miss running Rebels. Miami came out on top, 31-27. This game, watching it, it really felt like the national championship game. And I feel like the game today probably gonna feel like the same way with Oregon and Indiana because these teams are so good. The last four teams, anybody can make it. Anybody can win it. It was a back and forth situation, and it was crazy because the games really got super interesting in the second and the fourth quarters. The first and third, the first Miami kind of had control of it, was up by 3. And the third, both teams exchanged missing field goals. And Ole Miss ended up hitting the field goal, and then it went down. One thing I felt like watching this game, Carson Beck and Trinidad Chambliss, both NFL quarterbacks, both playing on Sundays. Watching those two play, there's not a knock to Mendoza because Mendoza nice. I watched him a few times this year, but Trinidad Chambliss, if I'm an NFL team, I'm taking him. Now I know he got the eligibility situation with they trying to they filing a waiver to get him another year in college. But bro, if he don't get another year, if they deny his appeal again, bro, go to the league. He about to get that bag in the league. I know it rivals, depending on where you pick, it's gonna rival what you get in NIL, but he's a pro quarterback for sure. Carson Beck showed me a lot. I kind of been in and out on Carson Beck. You heard me? But Carson Beck, he made some big throws, and especially at the end, clutching up and running that last touchdown in. Shout out to Ole Miss first though, bro, because that was a lot of potential distraction going around that program with Lane leaving, and man, them boys easily could be in the national title game right now. That was a hell of a run. Shout out to the players for sure. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the players. Like, you staying locked in and you believing in the staff. Shout out to their staff. And shout out to the collab. I know it's been a lot about, they got tampering allegations and shit, but shout out to LSU and Ole Miss for working together and letting the coaches that they did let coach, continue on with the team. Charlie Weiss, I think he won the most out of any coach, probably besides Pete Golden, maybe. But Charlie Weiss, he won. But to Victor's, bro, Miami, this is so interesting to me. One, they're going to their first title game since 2002. That's when they played Ohio State, right? And they got shafted. And in the rotation of bowls, the Orange Bowl hosts the national championship game. Some people might not know the Orange Bowl is at Hard Rock Stadium. Hard Rock Stadium, that's where the University of Miami plays football. I don't know if this ever happened. I just off top, I know we had situations like every time LSU wins a championship, right? It's in New Orleans, and that's crazy, right? It's a big thing. But to think about if LSU had a championship at Tiger Stadium, like, nah, this is insane. And I grew up as a Florida State fan, so this is the first time I put my Miami hatred to the side, because I really wanted them to get into the playoffs from jump, because you had that head-to-head and there was a lot of discussion about them in Notre Dame. Shout out, no CFP playoff committee slander shall be tolerated. Clearly made the right choice. The committee could sit back and like, yeah, we did that. Miami was the last team to get in, but playing at home for the Natty, there's gonna be some partying probably out there. Here's another thing, real interesting. With Ole Miss being knocked out, this gonna be the third straight year that is no SEC teams in the national title game. Y'all remember? Let's see. Let's see. Let me look this up right quick. Y'all remember when the SEC was just running shit, right? Like, SEC national title streak, right? what was it? How many years straight was it? They won. It was a SEC 7 consecutive titles for the SEC at one point, from 2006 to 2012. It was a 7-year streak of SEC straight championships. Remember that? Now we in a 3-year run of no SEC team even in the title game. Is crazy. You got 12 teams. You had 5 of them, and nobody got to. And so, here's my question: is the SEC still the most dominant conference? And I think it's the difference between dominating, right, what they were doing, and being the best conference. It's like, yeah, it's probably the best. Yeah, I think it's probably still top to bottom, maybe the best conference, but it ain't just like you gonna play an SEC team and you're gonna lose like it used to be. Shit, the Big Ten here, and you got teams like the ACC might not be as good of a conference, but if you got one team who won't go, you know what I'm saying? Shit, Miami to beat 2 SEC teams on their way to the Natty. And a team who many felt like was the best in the country in Ohio State. So yeah, hey, man, look, I feel like Indiana is a better team than Miami, right? Oregon, I think is comparable. I think they about what for what. But either one, I'm not taking either one of them over Miami right now at this point at home. Miami has some like individual players, and they clearly playing as a team, but like, bro, they got a few players who just stars, dog. Stars, and they pop out the screen. You heard me? So I'm taking Miami to win it all, man. All right, next up, we're gonna talk about the LSU quarterback situation. Lane been cooking. They've been cooking in the portal, but we gotta get some quarterbacks. So let's talk about that next. Talkin Sporty, our franchise.
We talking sporty. Hey.
Big question. The transfer portal opened up a week ago. And it's like, is LSU cooked that quarterback? We've gotten a lot of like receivers, we killing. We got some linemen, things of that nature, but we haven't landed I guess a star quarterback yet. Really? Do we have any on the roster? Scholarship? Nope. So this is the situation, right? I think no one expected Ole Miss to really go this far. So they probably thought Lane probably thought, I could have a shot at Trinidad Chambliss. And shit, they playing so long. You're enjoying Ole Miss so much. It's like, oh my God, how can I leave? They treated me so well. Trinidad Chandler staying at Ole Miss. All right. Yeah, DJ Lagway. That was a name thrown around. What? DJ Lagway going to Baylor. Okay. Brendan Sorsby. Now, Brendan Sorsby, that was the Cincinnati quarterback that between him and Sam Levitt, they had him 1 and 2 or whatever as a top QB in the portal. He went to Texas Tech. I think you probably could have got Lagway or something, but you went Sorsby first, looked like, and he went to Texas Tech. All right, so Sorsby out. Sam Levitt. Sam Levitt was in the bag until he wasn't in the bag. And you got Sam Levitt at the basketball game with Lane Kiffin, they courtside and shit. And yesterday, I believe Sam Levitt, he left Baton Rouge without getting signed. Sam Levitt went to Tennessee for a visit. So Sam Levitt is not signed. We possibly still could get Sam Levitt, but it seems as if the same time Sam Levitt in Baton Rouge, you got Damond Williams, Washington quarterback. He re-upped with Washington. 4 days later, so it might have been the second. 4 days later, he says he entered his name in the transfer portal. So this happened at the same time Sam Levitt in Baton Rouge. So shit, Lane looking like, oh, he probably like, shit, I'm fucking with Sam, trying to play it. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can get Damond. Well, what ended up happening yesterday, Damond Williams, that was so messy because, the Big Ten in Washington, like, man, we about to pursue legal action to the point like, all right, if you go somewhere else, they're going to have to pay a buyout for you, bro. Like, ain't no just you signed a $4 million contract and then you just break it. No, but we're going to play it like a coach. They're going to have to pay a buyout to the point that his agent, who is also Washington's coach Jed Fisher's agent, right? They got the same agent, which is fucking insane. Players, I mean, I know it happens, but just the landscape of college football now. The agent was like, I can't represent you no more. So then it came out, Damond Williams, I guess he talked it over with his family, God, and things of that nature. And, he like, yep, I'm going to stay at Washington, which is the best move for him, right? So now where LSU is like, shit, where do you go? Where do you go? You still got Sam Levitt out there. I don't know, how that's going to turn out. But I got 2 QBs, bro, that I could see in that purple and gold. All right? First one, Dylan Riaola. That's like the dude who maybe y'all not familiar, but the dude who like the baby Patrick Mahomes had the same number, went to Nebraska, was a 5-star, had the same haircut when Patty had the mohawk and shit. That boy raw though. Dylan raw. I think at the right school too. Man, I think he wanted to. I saw reports of him probably wanting to go to Texas Tech, but they got Sorsby. I like, man, this bitch trying to follow Patrick Mahomes for real. He tripping. But Dylan Cole is progressing slower than other some of the other quarterbacks because I think his main suitors are still playing Miami and Oregon, right? So you got Miami, Carson Beck gonna leave. Oregon, they don't know if Dante Moore's staying or not. So the best thing for stuff like this is for teams like LSU is like Oregon win tonight. That way y'all still got it. I mean, I know they still signing people, but y'all focus on football. The other quarterback, Husan Longstreet from USC. Now, Husan Longstreet is a freshman 5-star. He was a 5-star recruit last year that went into USC. USC quarterback is returning. So, and you got a situation with the NFL shit. What if Lincoln Riley go take another job or for them to even say that? His brother said this. His brother said, and his brother transferred, Kevin Longstreet. He transferred out of USC. He said, talking about his brother, he wants a chance to compete. He's like, you get better by playing. And then what if Lincoln Riley leaves? That's crazy. And this dude here is raw. Shorty raw. So it seems like the best thing for LSU at this point, bro, is like Oregon and Miami playing the national championship and LSU go get a quarterback. Now, LSU did offer Trey Guerrera. He's a JUCO quarterback, Tyler Junior College signal caller, right? They offered. So he hasn't been signed yet, but he did receive an offer, and he also received offer from schools like Texas Tech, Kentucky, Arkansas, and Florida State. Shout out to Florida State. So this dude's supposed to be raw. 15-2 as a starter in 2 seasons. Look at his 2025 national QB rankings. 1 in completions, 2 in passing yards, 3 in passing TDs. He beast mode. So hopefully we can land Trey Guerrera, and I really want Husan Longstreet. You're a freshman, you're going to have 4 years of eligibility left. Like, that's who I really want. Who y'all think LSU should get at quarterback? And are we cooked? Let me know. L Franchise, Talkin Sporty, and we out.
Fast moves like lightning's whisper. Yeah. Sharp grooves, we're cutting quicker. Yeah. The game's alive, the pulse gets thicker. Yeah. Yeah. We talking sporty. Hey.